So there's always been people who think that they can predict the future. With the sheer amount of people doing predictions and all the variables, you're going to have some come true just by chance. And the closer you are to an event in time, the more likely you're going to be a bit more accurate just because you've got context clues leading up to an event or a time or something. Well, decades ago, the BBC were doing a series called Tomorrow's World, and they'd interview people and show things on what they thought might be integrated into society in the future. So I'm going to do a bunch of these episodes, and I think I'm going to focus each episode on a specific decade. And it appears that they started this series in the 60s, which is over half a century ago now. So let's see how accurately they've got things right all the way back then. Let's roll the tape. Children imagine life in the year 2000. Bearing in mind this was 1966.
In the year 2000, I think I'll probably be the spaceship to the moon dictating robots.
In the year 2000, on the moon in the spaceship dictating robots. That's a cool imagination.
Or else I may be, I don't know, in charge of a robot court, judging some robots. Or I may be at the funeral of a computer.
Did you just say at the funeral of a computer?
Or I may be at the funeral of a computer.
Yeah.
Or if something's gone wrong with their nuclear bombs, I may be sort of coming back from hunting in a cave.
Wow.
I don't like the idea of sort of getting out and finding you've got a cabbage pill to eat for breakfast or something.
Yeah, I've heard those theories going around for years that instead of having to, cook a whole dinner or breakfast, they would just get all your nutrients and everything you'd need in a pill form for you to just take in the morning or something. So you'd have like a breakfast or a dinner or a tea pill or something like that, which that would be so boring. Eating is one of the joys of our species.
All these atomic bombs will be dropping around the place. And one will get near the centre, because it will sort of make a huge, great big crater. And then the world will just melt. And
is he implying that craters for the bombs would open up a hole to get to the actual centre of the Earth, and then the Earth would melt because of that? You got a crazy imagination, kid.
the world will become one vast atomic explosion.
Damn.
And it will become like a supernova, stars.
Atomic war would send the Earth into like a supernova explosion. That's a crazy imagination, but fair play. But at the same time, you can see the looming fear of nuclear war. Everyone's just so uncertain. They don't know what could happen in the future, but they know how deadly these things are because of things that happened in the last decade or two.
Some madman will get the atomic bomb and just blow the world into oblivion.
There's nothing you can do to stop it. The more people who get bombs, the more... Well, somebody's going to use it one day.
Well, I think that it'll be so overpopulated that there'll all be wars, all nuclear explosions and everything. It'll make the Earth, too much radiation on it. It'll become too hot to live on. I think that there'll be no life at all, really, on the Earth.
God, you can really hear the worries of society echoing through these children at the moment. Obviously, they hear their parents talking about this stuff and probably see some stuff on the news and in papers, etc.
I don't think there is going to be atomic warfare, but I think that there is going to be all this automation. People are going to be out of work and a great population. I think something has to be done about it. If I wasn't a biologist, that's what I'd like to do something about the population problem. Try and sort of temper it somehow. I don't know how.
That's crazy. Like, he's on the right track about automation taking over a lot of people's jobs. There's all that worry with, generative AI and all this technology and stuff at the moment. But it was the same when automated factories were being made decades ago. That all the manual work that people used to do was then taken over by machines. And yes, people have new jobs to be able to control the machines. But if a machine is doing the job that, say, 50 men used to do, and say only like 3 or 5 men are required to actually help the running of the machine, then that's a 90% reduction in the workforce just by that machine being made. So it's quite amazing hearing these children say it like over half a century ago now.
I think it'll be very dull, and people would all be squashed together so much there won't be any fun or anything. And people will be rationed for the amount of things they can have, because if they had too many things it would just squash their houses and there just wouldn't be room for them.
There'd be too many people, everyone would just be squashed, and everyone will have too many things that their houses will be squashed. That's kind of strange, but I don't think she realises how big the world actually is. Either that, or they thought that maybe the world would get to like 100 billion people by now. I don't know, but that's a crazy number. Obviously, we're only between like 8 and 9 billion at the moment.
I think it'll be people will be regarded more as statistics than as actual people.
Wow, fair play, kid.
People will be regarded more as statistics than as actual people.
He was ahead of his time in thought, definitely. I'm sure some people kind of saw that coming anyway, just because of technology advancing, etc., and computers becoming more widely used amongst organisations. But damn, that's some mature thoughts from some kids. I swear you wouldn't hear things like that from kids these days. Not most kids. You get the odd outliers.
I don't think it's going to be so nice. I think sort of all machines everywhere, everyone doing everything for you. You know, you'll get all bored and...
Yeah, it's one of the reasons that I don't like a lot of automated stuff. I like to take control of a lot of things in my life still because, you know, manually doing things actually does have effects on, like, your mental health and your physiology and everything like that.
I think it's going to be very boring. And everything will be the same. I mean, people will be the same and things will be the same.
I think it's become the opposite of that. Well, not the opposite. There's still all like herd mentality and people who kind of conglomerate in their groups with their certain beliefs, etc. But there's a lot more variety these days in thought and belief.
I expect they will set aside parts of the country solely for recreation and have large blocks of built-up areas. And I think these are going to be very ugly indeed, probably.
I think some of these kids don't really kind of understand how big the world is or how big a country is or something. We've grown a lot less in population than I thought, actually. Like in the 1960s, apparently there was approximately 52.5 million people in the UK. And now, half a century later, there's nearly 70 million people in the UK. By what these kids are saying, you would have thought that they're imagining the population growth to be like 5, maybe 10 times of what it was in the UK at the time. So that's quite surprising to hear that it's only gone up like, what's that, like 20-30%?
No, I don't think I'll still be on Earth. I think I'll be under the sea. I think the population will have gone up so much that either everyone will be living in sort of big domes on the Sahara or they'll be under the sea.
Wow.
There'll be so many people that they'll have to have an overflow into the sea. And so there'll be houses underneath the sea and houses above the sea.
So it seems like there was a bunch of people back then who thought the population was going to get so large that we would have literally needed to live in bubbles under the sea and in the desert, etc. That's quite mad.
People wouldn't be able to live in ordinary houses because that would take up too much room. It'd have to be in flats, piled on top of one another.
Very true in some countries, so you are not far off, young lady.
Animals as they have here, sheep and cows and livestock, but they'll be kept in batteries. They won't be allowed to graze on pastures. They'll be kept in buildings all together, all in one big building and artificially reared so they'll yield a larger, be bigger and give more food.
That kid is so intelligent. He's spot on with that. I'm sure there was the beginning of what was starting as battery farms or something back then. That's probably why they got knowledge of it. He might have a wise father who's told him some of these things because, fair play, you impress me, lad.
All the Sputniks and everything that are going up sort of interferes with the weather. And I think the sea may rise and will sort of cover some of England, and there'll be just islands left from like only the Highlands in Scotland and some of the big hills in England and Wales. I don't think all England will be wiped out because some of it will be too high. I think the sea will rise to about 300 to 600 feet.
I don't know if that could happen if we had like extreme runaway global warming or something that melted the glaciers quite quickly and really rose the sea level that quickly. I think he's thinking of the most extreme circumstance that could possibly happen. That's crazy. Thinking that England would only be islands left because of being mostly flooded in 34 years, was it? Yeah, in 34 years. Mental.
It might freeze because the sun, I think, will probably burn out. And
the sun will burn out?
Down from North Pole, I think it'll cover the Earth. Might have another ice age.
She thought the sun might burn out in 34 years. What the heck?
Black people, you know, won't be sort of separate. They'll be all mixed in with the white people. And, you know, the poor people and rich people will become the same. Well, they will be poor and richer, but they won't sort of look down on each other.
She was kind of right with the multicultural side, where there's loads of countries that are mostly multicultural these days, but the rich and poor people feeling the same as each other? That's a pipe dream at the moment still. Now we got their prediction on robot housekeepers coming soon.
See who it is, Mabel.
Of course, this is from the 60s.
June the 16th, 1976. Show his lordship in, Mabel.
So this is what she was imagining him to be in like 10 years' time from this interview. Mabel.
Introducing Mabel, the robot housemaid.
It like reminds me of something crossed between a Dalek from Doctor Who and the robots you get in Fallout.
Begin the day with Able Mabel. She'll wake you at your preset time.
You know that this is just someone off screen just wobbling a hand,
She'll
probably.
bring your morning tea brewed just how you like it.
Now, do you think there's actually a person inside there, or someone's actually controlling it from like the other side of that curtain or something?
Take your time about rising. She'll run your bath to exactly the temperature she knows you like. While you're in the bath, she'll make your bed and lay out clothes for yet another day free from household drudgery, free from time-wasting chores like vacuum cleaning. Unlike human housemaids, Mabel never tires, never grumbles, never takes a day off. Your shoes
but will need recharging.
Gain a new sparkle with Mabel's patient, loving care. Carelessness is unknown to Mabel. She's programmed with built-in reliability. Priceless sculpture, Mabel can be trusted to dust it.
Oh, aren't they naive? Over half a century later and we still haven't got reliable housebots. They've just started coming out with robots that can actually do things for you around the house, but they're still very limited, so they're still kind of under experimental trials at the moment, just to kind of get them working and see how reliable they can be. And hopefully they won't hurt anybody.
She's also a cordon bleu chef. She'll cook what you like the way you like
Ooh,
it. The
a
only chef
cordon
who's
bleu
equally
chef,
happy
eh?
about cooking and washing up. Ironing? Forget it. Leave it to Mabel with her computer understanding of textiles.
Now, they were imagining a robot that could just be like a human and do everything. I know that's still kind of the dream for a lot of humanoid robots, but the world went in the way of specific robots being made for specific tasks, just because it's more efficient, and especially that you need to consider the power that's being carried around with them in a battery, because you can't exactly have a robot going around the house doing things and be plugged in all the time.
Dog walking can be a drag. Let Mabel do it. She loves animals. She'll do your shopping too, and more economically with her analysis of market trends. Let Mabel check that bill from your Paris dress designer. Not only is she good at figures, she remembers them for next time.
Yeah, if only they had the foresight to know that your data would actually be like, you know, fed through servers so they could train the things to make them better, which kind of makes sense. But then there's all the privacy issues that you get these days as well. And I guess they were imagining everything to be computed on the system and not kind of go off to the internet and then come back.
She's great at a party. Her cocktails are classical, and it's safe to drink and drive, for she also computes your blood alcohol level. With radar and sonic sensing, she's both babysitter and burglar alarm.
Nice.
Free your wife from domestic slavery. Let her command her own slave at the touch of a button.
Oh, okay. They got a watch remote.
Give her Mabel.
So wait, are you telling me that it's supposed to have all these different features? It can fold your clothes, it can make your coffee, it can do all these different things, but it's only got 4 buttons on the remote. How does that make sense? It doesn't matter. It's not a reality. They're just imagining. It's okay. It's okay. We can give them a pass.
Whose head not only warms the teapot, but is cool enough for the most advanced electronic thinking. Mabel, the multi-fingered robot whose hands combine the strength of a gorilla with the sensitivity of a watchmaker, equally adept at embroidery or lifting a ton weight.
Do these hands look like the sensitivity of a watchmaker? That's crazy. I wouldn't even say that like the Tesla bot is there, and that's probably the most dexterous one yet, I think, from what I've seen.
Eyes like a hawk, radar, sonic sensing. What other robot has such a combination? She's economic too, plugging herself in to use less than 10 shillings electricity a day.
They did think
Mabel,
of that.
Available.
And only costs less than 10 shillings electricity a day, however much a shilling is.
Available at all good computer stores for only £500.
Yeah, this looks like they are just like making a video for what they think the robot housekeepers are going to be like in 10 years' time from now. That's really interesting, because they were nowhere near there by then, obviously. How school computer classes looked in 1969.
Preparing Nellie to do a day's work has become a well-practiced routine.
Okay, please have the keys, Lorraine.
Right, keys in. Can you check this oil level, please, Harry?
Oh, wow, Nellie's the computer.
Oil okay. Right, can you check this temperatures, please, Malcolm?
Okay, disc up to speed. Well, alternator house, disk oil and temperature okay. Is it okay your end?
Motor, alternator on. Okay for standby.
Switch on standby, Peter.
Wow. This is just the process of turning on a PC back then. Or a computer, I should say. Not a PC, because a PC obviously stands for personal computer. And this is not a personal computer. This is when computers were the size of rooms.
Okay, HD coming on.
The computer is ready for use. At this school, they learn to use it early. In the first form, they're taught how it works by playing at being a computer. A raised arm denotes an electrical signal, a lowered arm denotes its absence. In this way, they can simulate the two-number language of computers.
That's
now
mad.
We're going to add two numbers together in exactly the same way as a computer does. Register A holding the binary equivalent of 38.
You actually had to learn binary back then if you wanted to be in computer class. Wow.
Register B holding the binary equivalent of 23. Ready for the clock?
The clock, the banging of the master's hand on the desk, represents the pulse in an actual computer, which causes all the digits to move along one when each step of the operation is completed.
What? What? Imagine kids doing this in school, knowing binary.
And the answer, 61 in Register C.
Now the same sum again.
Register A
Wow.
holding the binary equivalent of 38. Register B holding the binary equivalent of 23.
These two rows of boys to the master's left are the numbers to be added. The two boys at the far end of each row are at the business end where the calculating is done. As each pair of digits reaches the far end, its sum is computed by boys representing the adder. The sum is then fed step by step into the front row of 6 boys until the addition is complete.
That's insane.
The answer, 61.
The computer completes each step in the adding process in a fraction of a second.
That's mental.
The flickering digits on the oscilloscope represent the same binary code as the boys' arms in the classroom.
Damn.
The boys have written a number of programs for the computer. One program tests the speed of your reactions. When the note changes, you press a button. Being tested here, the physics master, who supervises the project, but believes in allowing the boys to do almost everything for themselves. The reaction is measured to an accuracy of 1/1000th of a second.
Damn.
The boys haven't yet got round to training the computer to play chess, but already it's very good at one of the simpler games.
Well, to play noughts and crosses, you make your moves on the keyboard, which has the numbers 1 to 9, in, well, what is roughly a noughts and crosses grid. The numbers are printed out at the beginning of the game.
Essentially, yeah.
In the grid, so you know where they are. You then type where you want to go, and then the computer makes its move, and prints out both your move and its move at the same time. Your crosses, the computer is naught. If you go on top of one of its places, it'll print out cheat, I have won. If you go on top of one of your own ones, one of your previous moves, it'll print out full and then go on to take a move of its own. If it wins, it'll print out I have won. If you win, which is impossible, you can't possibly, but it will print out you have won if you did. It'll print out a draw if it can't go at all, because everything's full up.
That's nuts. Fair play. Fair play.
Junior boys also lend a hand with maintaining the computer. Being now rather old and not as tough as a new computer, Nellie takes unkindly to starting up and shutting down a couple of times a day. Diodes are particularly liable to failure, and it's the first former's job to test them.
Oh, you think kids this age would be trusted to, like, test diodes
Finally,
and things
a program
these
that
days?
enables the boys to write tunes
Mad.
and have them performed by Nellie.
Oh, tunes, is it? What's it sound like? Ah, literally just like sine waves. Ooh, Drunken Sailor. Oh. It's a little bit flat on that one note.
Fails on average once in every 12 hours of running time. When this happens, they go into their breakdown routine.
God, it was such a different world back then, wasn't it? It's mental.
Change line 4, please. System center 1.
What is that? Is that like
most adults still
a
find
hard
computers
drive?
a bit of a mystery. But for youngsters like these, brought up in a world of diodes and transistors, There's nothing mysterious about a computer.
Very impressive. That's awesome. That's so cool. The self-driving car of tomorrow. The Alden Starrcar. Wow, look at that thing.
Starrcar is an American
Look at the size of those wheels. What is this thing?
answer to the universal problem of personal transport in congested cities. It combines the
Flippin'
door-to-door
heck.
convenience of the private car with the speed and relaxation of public transport at its best. Powered by
It literally looks like
electric
the front of a
batteries,
plane.
You can drive it on ordinary roads at a comfortable speed for local journeys. A compact three-seater, it's easy to maneuver or park.
I can't get over the size of those wheels, though. They're like this big. They're like tiny. They're like, yeah, literally about this big with the tyres. The wheels on their own are probably about that big. That's insane. Like, imagine hitting a pothole in those wheels. The whole bottom of the car would just go boosh against the floor.
For longer journeys or for travel through congested areas, you leave the road and enter a special guideway.
What?
The undercarriage slides under the track and the Starrcar begins to glide along an electrified rail. You press
What?
a destination button on a dashboard route map and electronic controls take over.
That is cool. I kind of wish this was a thing in some ways. I know this is just a prototype.
The guideway is only 8 feet wide and could be laid alongside existing roads easily and cheaply.
Mad. That's
You may be slotted
crazy.
into a train of Starrcars going the same way, but at your destination...
So it just
you'll be
literally
routed
works the
onto
same as like a train or a tram sort of system, but then converts it back into where you can just hit the road. That's mad.
and drive to your final destination before parking it. In either case, it's ready to be used again and again by other travellers.
I guess that's not really a self-driving car because you have to go onto a rail, which then obviously the car just like drives itself down the rail, but a rail isn't like a road where you can veer off and go anywhere you want. A rail is just fixed until you reach your destination, I guess. Still, that was so cool to see. I haven't seen that before. Right, we're going to wrap the video up there for today now anyways, so thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and I shall catch you in the next one. Peace.